like first week when last week it was quite stressful, and we were talking to people, we were having lots of meetings, leadership meetings, that how it's gonna, I mean, people were doing, we had the laptops, everything set up, but then how it is actually in teams. And that's when I really sit and think how to tell first what are the some tips to work remotely. Though we know it, we are doing work, we were working remotely, but now it's all together virtual team, and we were not able to see face to face, communicate even for one single day. So yes, and I would say I was the one, I was very anti for work from home, at least for all the ceremonies. And I asked my Scrum Master that for one day, at least everybody should be at in office for ceremony. So the whole ceremonies, you know, planning, review, retro, for one day at least, we have to be in a room. But now again, you know, inspect and adapt. Now we have to see the other things, like how we now virtually come together and do all the ceremonies as we were doing earlier. So yes, so today I want to talk about how I try to take the help of Scrum values to make my team more collaborate virtually. So I know everybody here knows Scrum value. Can you please help me to remember what are these? One person, one value. Please, guys. It would be
Focus,
focus, yes.
Commitment,
Commitment,
Commitment, courage, openness,
respect.
Yeah,
respect.
so we have all five. Yes, so yes, these are the five values we have. So when we talk about commitment, so commitment for the sprint goal is, yes, that should be there, and that we do, like as a team in sprint planning, we commit to this sprint goal. However, now working virtually, I myself commit for the day. I write my 3 priorities on the paper, and I commit that I have to do this by the end of the day. Also, I need to do my household chores. So that commitment for me, myself, to complete these 3 priority work is very important. And that's one thing I would suggest everyone. And that's what my team is doing. And it's kind of helping them also to commit to the daily task. Daily task, 3 tasks at least, what we have to complete by the end of the day. This is one. Another one is I would take commitment, and then I would say transparency, openness. So yes, you have to be more open. Again, it's about, it's okay. Like now we have to be more open about how are we feeling. If we are more open to understand the other person as well, more open to tell that if you are not feeling well, if you are stressed, then it's okay. Like, I'm not able to right now do this. Maybe I can do it later. More open to ask others, how are they feeling? More open to be have empathy for others as well. More open to accept things. So that's another one. So this is again, I would say remotely, we need to be more open, have to be on video chats. As Sanjay said, we have to be open that if my kid is coming around, they are, they are meeting to my extended family. And that's what he is doing. Right now, he's not here. Otherwise, I, knows everyone in my team. So please be on video chat, because if myself is not be on video chat, I cannot encourage others to be on video. So that's fine. Also, I just forgot. So I daily commit myself. I commit to my routine as well. So I daily take bath and be ready for the work. And that's how it helps me again. So please, the routine is very good, because on the first day of the virtual working, my son asked me, "Mama, are you working in pajamas?" And that clicked me. Yes, I should not. I should be prepared for the day. Otherwise, I could not focus even. So yeah, openness, commitment. The another one is courage. So Yes, courage to say the right thing. Courage to, nowadays we are bombarded with lots of meetings. So meeting from everywhere, here, there, and everywhere. So please be courageous to say no to some of the meetings as well. That will help you uh, and help you focus and not distracted all the time. Courage to say no for some meetings, or courage to ask politely that this time I'm not attending this particular meeting, can we do it later? So this is one. Again, courage to ask. So this is very important. We ourselves think when we were in office that, oh no no no, don't ask to the senior person, what would he think about me. So that's not the situation now, right? That's not the situation now remotely, because even you have to ask, and maybe that person is busy somewhere else, so it will get time to him for him to respond. So please ask. Don't spend time to do everything by yourself, or I mean, you have to be open and courageous in that sense. Ask the question. Ask if you are stuck. Have courage to tell that if you are not able to complete a task, just tell to your teammates more openly, because that's very important to talk about. Just tell remotely, we have to tell everything right now, where we are right now. Courage to talk about failures, even. Courage to talk about if you are not able to complete one particular story or some tasks. So that's courage. Then focus, yes. So this is the biggest challenge everybody is facing right now. And this is the second week I'm daily talking to my teams. Everybody is having that problem, that kids playing around. They want our time to play, how to focus with so many meetings. So focus is something. So right now, I would say we should have a focus window. So me myself start my day around 7:30 or 8 in the morning. My kids, they are sleeping around 10 till 10 o'clock. So that is my focus window for me and my husband both, like 2.5 hour window. So have some focus window. Ask your team, sit with your team, and decide a focus window for everyone in the team. That will help in quick response in time also. So this is again a major challenge. Response in the time of response is getting slower because we are working flexible. So if I have a focus window around 2 or 2.5 hours with my team, so I definitely will get better response, quick response, and I'll focus on my work. Oh my God, already there. So another one is respect. So yes, we should respect others' feeling as well. Thank you. Thank you.
I gonged Jeff Watts last night.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Deepa.
And we
Yeah.
should respect the time box also.
Yes. Thanks, Deepa.
The gong just became a famous thing in our team. If any of the leadership team
Yeah,
talk too much,
gong.
I take the gong out, shut them up.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good, good. So we have actually kept 5 minutes gap between two sessions. So in case if anyone has anything specific to ask or maybe mention, that most welcome. Anyone from?
Yes. Call out a specific thing here. Whatever Deepa called out about how good are you feeling in the beginning of the day, that never worked out for us. In fact, we used to call something as happiness index. Forget about Corona, but we started this around 5.5 years ago, based out in the scattered team in Netherlands. We started something with asking people as to how good they are, whether they are okay to participate in the ceremonies, and if they say red, we were not allowing them to speak out in scrum ceremonies so that they don't disrupt the events. But it so turned out to be that we started, instead of focusing on the deliverables or key aspects, solving personal problems of theirs. Every day people started crying out different things, saying that, okay, this is not that, that is not good, not getting hikes. See, there are some softer aspects which will turn out to be good, and there are certain things which can come out in a very aggressive direction. I think we both worked out together in RBS for almost 1.5 long years without seeing each other, right? So happiness index is one which can backfire in case like the teams are not following right set of guidelines or like right set of scrum ceremonies. So we have to be cautious on that. Second thing was empathy. See, when we start empathizing people or core team members, we have to respect boundaries of each other. When we say empathy, see, misusing empathy is a thing which the coaches and the scrum masters should know better to control and stop it out at the budding stage itself. So
Obviously.
empathizing is a very good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
The scrum masters and coaches should know where to stop some misusing of those things. 2 points from
So yes, yes. So yeah, Siddesh. So to that, with that point, I always emphasize. I start with my own how I'm feeling today. So sometimes sad, and I said just one word. And if people explain more, I said please respect the time and one word. And for you, I have a suggestion: don't overdo it. If they are doing it every day, you are doing taking happiness index every day, and they are not liking it or maybe stretching it. Just set some time for your retro. Have one-to-one calls. Like that's what I would suggest here. And this particularly, it is not the happiness index. So much is going on, and my team is working virtually. So I really want to ask them first how they are right now, and then other things.
Okay, good. I think we have 120 seconds more, but we can move on if
If anybody has some other question or I mean
Deepa,
suggestion.
60 seconds. 60 seconds. Sorry.
I think it's a quick one. What
Yeah.
are the tools you're using? Is in like are you using Hangouts or Zoom?
No, Zoom and Skype, and
Oh.
now we have introduced Teams as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And any retrospective, because we've started using Jamboards.
Idea boards is
Idea
good
boards is
for
good.
using. Yeah, Confluence is not collaborative at all. So idea boards we are using. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, who said that the Confluence is not collaborative? It's one of the most famous tools.
It's not collaborative.
For so-called collaboration.
Yeah, for retro, because you cannot write together like parallelly simultaneously. I mean, that's the collaboration thing.
I agree. I agree. I was just
I
joking.
think Confluence is more of a free tool, given by Jira. It's no use, frankly speaking.
Yeah.
Sandboxing.
Yes.
Okay, move on. Yes, Scott, I think over to you. Your 10 minutes start now.
Yeah, cool. So Deepa and I work together. So a lot of what she spoke about, we've been working together and collaborating on. In case you're wondering why I'm dressed like a pirate, we're having a pub hour in the UK just after this. And everyone will have a drink at home. And we're going to pretend we're in the pub and we'll maybe sing some songs. And if anyone talks about work, they have to put £10 to the nearest food bank. Yeah. So one of the things we've been doing there is trying to get time in the diary where we talk together as a team, okay, but not about work. And that's really important. So one thing, another good technique and thing you can do, and I've been doing this for years, is if you're doing a stand-up and you're talking to everyone, get everyone to say what the best thing that happened to them since we last spoke. What's the best thing that happened to them when they last spoke? The reason that's good is you'll get a window into everyone's life. So perhaps their football team won. Well, when we played football. Perhaps the children did something. Perhaps they saw a good program. And what you'll do is you'll find out about people's hobbies and life, and you'll build more information about them. If you insist on that as a rule on the call, the quiet people will contribute as well. It's always a bit difficult the first time you do it, but the more you do it, it's better, and it builds a great team. There's a thing called Johari Windows, which you can Google. That's just Johari. And what it says is that teams that have got a larger open space of knowledge will always get on better and be high-performing teams. So that's the first tip. The second thing, I work with Alistair Coburn in the heart of Agile, and the thing I'm working on in terms of kind of a new Agile technique is gratitude, okay? So if you could do a little experiment just now, in the chat, could you all just put down something that you're grateful for? So we've lost a lot because of COVID, yeah? But what are you actually grateful for? And just do it in the chat. As a hint, I'm actually grateful I got more time with my 1-year-old baby, because being at home all the time, I'm not going out to meetups, I'm not working as much, I'm not commuting, so I get more time to spend with my 1-year-old baby. So in the chat here, if all of us just want to write down what it is that we're grateful for. Okay, so my family and you're healthy, so health is something. And the wife preparing 3 meals a day. Have you got access to the office yet, Deepa? or are you still in the living room?
Living room, no
Right,
access to
men,
office.
men, share your offices with your wives if they have to. Okay.
Seriously.
Yeah, help my wife at least for one meal. Okay, yeah. So just going around a team and talking about what you're grateful for will actually make you happy. Most happiness comes from four hormones. Yeah, endorphins, which you get from exercise, oxytocin, which you get from teamwork and knowing about things, serotonin, which is you can get from substances and things, and dopamine. Dopamine makes you happy. And underneath my pirate flag here is my Kanban board, and every time I move a ticket into done, I get a little hit of dopamine. Yeah, every time I get a WhatsApp message, I get a little hit of dopamine. So those things that we can do through exercise and things, and that's happiness. But the other happiness thing is gratitude. Every day, do it with your family, do it with all your teams. The more gratitude you do, the better. I'm going to recommend some books. So yeah, perhaps you've seen this one before. This is The Art of Action by Stephen Bungay. I use this with leadership teams all the time, and this is really important just now. Because what
Too
it
much
talks
light on this. I think we are not able to view the name.
Okay, let me turn my. In Scotland, we have light boxes to keep us happy because it's so dark. Is that better?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So this will talk about the intent gap. Okay. So let's say I said to Deepa, get me a coffee. And Deepa comes back with a cappuccino. And I go, what's this? I didn't want a cappuccino. I wanted an espresso. Okay. And I said, well, you just asked for a coffee. Yeah. So this book's all about how it comes to the military as well. So oftentimes when a military gets an objective, they've got a lot of kind of they're in agreement to do it. So one of the things we need to do, especially now we're talking more in video, is make sure that we understand the intent, and we do that by checking questions. So if anyone asks you to do anything, say, "Is this what you mean?" Deepa and I have got an interesting boss who always tells us things and we're never sure what they mean. So we meet up afterwards to say, what did that mean? So we're not managing the intent gap very well. Right. The other book, obviously, Jeff Watts and Scrum Mastery. So last night we had about 100 people on a call with Jeff Watts. And one of the things Jeff said was, and I thought it was really good, you might think you're being selfish asking for help. Yeah, but you're not, because if the team's struggling and you haven't asked for help, yeah, you're actually affecting the team. Yeah, so it's actually better to ask the team. This is Jeff's big point, and it's better to kind of show that you don't know how to do something. Yeah, and that's actually the thing that isn't selfish to do. Yeah, but at the moment at the moment we might be scared of that because we might be scared of looking poor. Or not knowing things or being at a disadvantage, but this time more than ever, ask for help. And people don't ask for help. We work in Deep and I work in a very complicated organization. Sometimes to do things is very complicated. So actually getting someone on Zoom and pairing to do it, yeah, and asking someone to do it, is really going to be helpful for the team because you're going to overcome the barriers. Not sure how time's doing. Maybe you can gong me, Deepa, for once. And the final book I'm going to talk about is, I'm not sure if anyone's, this is a bit of a gonk book, this one. This is Reinertson's book on flow. If in the next couple of months any of you are struggling to sleep, I recommend this book because it puts me to sleep.
This is really boring.
Yeah. However, it does have the utilization graph. Okay. Every one of our teams at the moment is currently running an utilization of meetings around about 110%. So how much work are we doing? None. I do have a T-shirt I wear in the Agile meetings, and it's got it said Slack because of math. Yeah. So we need to build some Slack into our day to get work done. So we've got teams of developers sitting in meetings with project managers asking when the work is, but they're not getting any chance to do it because they're on their meetings. Yeah. So the big thing we've asked everyone to do is block their diaries out for work. And the good thing is where we are is the leaders are listening. So I spoke to Roch, who's our director of engineering. He contacted everyone that works for him, and they're blocking their diaries out. And again, if you can get the leadership to role model the behavior, role model blocking the diaries out, role model saying no, yeah, then that's great. The final thing I put on that is, I always say this to teams, okay? If you can't say no, you can't say yes, okay? It's a great one to tell teams, right? If you can't say no, you can't say yes. So anytime I ask you to do anything, you're just going to go and do whatever it is you think you can do, but you'll never give me bad information. You'll never give me bad news. That's me.
Good. So we still have time. Question. Yeah. Sorry, Scott, go ahead.
No, the questions are good.
Yeah. Question, comment. Anyone would like to add anything?
I am gonna stand up now because I've been sitting for a couple of hours. So,
So I want to add. So guys,
yes,
we are doing.
Yes, Auntie.
Yeah, we are doing fika sessions. Like Scott is doing fika sessions daily. It's an open forum where anyone can come and talk about anything, the personal thing,
It comes from
stress, work.
It comes from Sweden and Spotify. It means like
Yeah.
coffee break. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm doing here in India Chai Pe Charcha, and he's doing fika. And daily we are collaborating and writing hints, tips for the day, and it's really helping people. I think yes, it's going great. Daily we get group of people and talk about stress. I mean, right now focus, productivity, anything you can talk about. So that's a good thing Scott is doing.
Well, you're doing it as well, and you're doing the Indian one.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get people in a time like this when everyone's worried about their work and unemployment to, not try and put 15 hours a day in and to take time to do things that traditionally might have been frowned on. Yeah. But what we're really missing is the time where we would kind of go up someone's desk and then go for a coffee with each other or have a walk to the canteen with each other and talk. The other thing I would really recommend is using the XP technique of pairing. So working together, even if you're both working on the screen, as I'm doing with Robin just now. Robin's in London, I'm in Scotland, and we'll have Zoom open and we'll both be working away, typing on something and chatting. Yeah, but it's nice and relaxed. It's not like it's a meeting, Yep.
So I think Amit has raised his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amit, go ahead.
Yeah, Scott just talked about dopamine, right? So I was just talking to my teams and I was saying when you're going to help each other, so you feel happy, and this is just because of dopamine. And the
Exactly.
team replies to me, right? Might be in your language, it could be dopamine, but in our language, it is alcohol.
Agile parties.
Sorry, I missed that last bit because Alexa came on.
So my team was saying, might be in your language, it could be dopamine, right? But when we feel happy in our language, it is alcohol.
Ah, yeah. Well, that's why we're having the open pub now. Yeah. So everyone comes along, have a pub, have a bit of a laugh. I think the trouble that India has, I guess, is any of the Indian time is in the morning. Yeah. So you have to day drink and then wait, and then the UK people come along and then you're all drunk and then we wonder what's happened. At least in the UK, we can get drunk after you're all in bed.
But that was nice, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember the fourth question at Scrum. So it's not just, what have you done? What are you doing at your blocks? But what was the best thing that happened?
And thank you, Scott, a lot for using your sense of humor, because we are banned not to meet with each other, but we are not. Humor is not banned, and joy is not banned.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. My email address has always had that serious isn't the opposite of fun. I also work with Pierre Niels and the Serious Play people, and the Lego people. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I dressed like a pirate today, and I'm happier because of it. And there's not a great deal to be happy in the world, but this is keeping me happy.
Okay, anyone else? We still have 120 seconds before we start with the next.
Let's finish early. I like to achieve.
Okay, good. I think one thing I would like to add here is, though people are trying to compare the current situation with maybe Scrum, Agile, and so many other things. I'm not so sure how good or bad it is, or whether we can actually compare this with this agility as such. But somehow I feel that as an Scrum Master, as a coach, I think this is actually something new for us also. We should do a more of a self-assessment ourselves. Are we actually ready for, were we actually ready for it? Right? We always talk about as an Scrum Master, we are here. One of the key thing we have to do is a facilitation. But do we, as a Scrum Master, do we are aware of any practice of doing more of a remote facilitation?
Yeah,
I don't know how.
there is. So we've one of the great agile talkers is Joanna Rothman. We've got a talk coming up next week where she's talking about from chaos to remote teams. So she wrote that book. There's also books like it's not here just now. Here it is. Okay, so Lizette Sutherland. Okay. Has written, work together anywhere, and she was one of the keynote speakers at Agile Scotland last year. So there has been a lot of work in it. But what I would say is that as the Agile community, a lot of what we need to do now is stuff that we've always been pushing to do, yeah. And a lot of organizations that weren't thinking about Agile are now thinking about Agile because they need to do things quickly. So I predict in a month's time, all of our salaries will be up.
So Saraswati, I would like to add, like, it's okay if we don't know, we were not prepared, it was all of a sudden, but are we trying? Are we trying? Are we trying and inspecting and adapting? So that is very important. If something is not working right now, so as a coach, as a Scrum Master, am I trying anything else for the team? Am I taking their feedback? So that is also important. Again, yeah, new for us, this challenge.
Are we stopping work? Are we throwing the old plans out? Are we replanning? Are we responding to change over following the plan? That's a good agile principle.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Last 30 seconds.
Last point. Most of the agile community, like Alistair Coburn and people, have suddenly had their entire revenue stream taken away.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to watch them responding to change and going online.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. I think let's move on. Let's move to our next speaker, Sheetal Prati. Right. And Neha, we will come back to you maybe after this session. Yeah, Sheetal, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, everybody. So I'm Sheetal, and nice hearing to this agile community. So I'm representing Saxo Bank. I'm from Saxo Bank. I'm heading the data integration around between 16 to 17 years of experience, and so this entire remote thing, right? For me, once I've moved remote, I really don't see any difference, and there is a reason. So I've raised up 2 kids, and I've gone into a very complicated pregnancy, second time, but all my work tenure I've been working. So it was, remotely in between. Then I was in New York when Sandy happened, and all of us went remote. And then I continued to work remotely, moving across locations, right, from New York to San Francisco, back to Bangalore, and then to Mumbai. And for these couple of years, while I was relocating my family, I was working continuously remotely. And there are situations where I'm lucky when my team is together, because most of the time I've worked with teams spread across the globe, and without any excuse not to be productive, not to collaborate. So it's just in the blood. And certain things which we've learned hard way is what I would like to share here. It's not very specific to Scrum or Agile, but a lot of things which has just helped me be very effective all the while, and also be happy and motivated in the same manner. So I'm not sure if I can share my screen here. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can. There's no white, yellow. Yeah.
Yeah, let me know if you can see this.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Can you see this? Okay. Okay, when you work remotely, right, and specifically when you're shifting from office to home, we wish that we will set up our office at home. And it's like this, but for ladies, I don't know, it ends up being like this. Okay. And but however, I don't have any complaints, and in fact I would prefer,
So
because
Sheetal,
I have a 4 year.
we are seeing Amit on your screen. Are you sharing something else? Yeah.
Yes, wait, I am.
When you
Yeah,
said
I am sharing
when
a
you said most
slide.
of the time
One
it looks
second.
like this, all I could see was Amit.
Okay. Okay. Let me share. Okay, now you should be able to see this. Okay. Let me know if you can see this.
Yes,
Okay.
perfectly fine.
You can see this. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So yes, I wish it was like this, you know, but it ends up being like this. Okay. However, I don't mind it, because I love when my 4 year daughter comes, hugs me in between, and then she goes away. She calls me in between if she wants to show me something, and she doesn't have to wait for me or call me in the office, and that's a feeling which gives me a lot of contentment. So what I do and what we do at home, we I kind of start getting some sun, move around, so that you're happy, you're positive, your dopamine levels are up. Get dressed up, and I think Deepa also emphasized on that. Be ready as you would go to office. Be ready, and then take a coffee and take a seat. Make a small office at home, so that it gives you a feeling of getting started. Now, specifically when the entire workforce has moved, the IT workforce has moved remote. There are people who are not happy. There are people who are uh, not taking it very very well. I think what we need to reflect is, this is not by choice. This is the need of the hour. We need to get isolated. So there's no need contemplating on it. Now, whether this is an opportunity or threat, this is an opportunity, and for some people it's not an opportunity. The situation is tensed around, but the solution that all of us can give, the best solution that we can give, is very easy. We just need to be isolated. We just need to minimize the needs. And most of us, right, we've handled much more complicated solutions, whether personally or professionally. So if you see overall, this is not a very difficult thing, as long as we manage to get enough food for our family. Now, for most of us, we do have family. We will have logistical issues at home. So another thing we need to understand is just accept it. Perfection is not possible. It's okay for, and I mean, I've been telling around in my team also, it's okay
Yeah. Yeah.
for you to have family. Sometimes your 4 years, 5 years, 2 years, they'll not just get it. Whether it is a meeting, important meeting, if you're there, they might run into you, and don't be apologetic about it. It's okay to continue on the call with them out there. I think sometimes we have more disturbing elements in our team, right? So sometimes kids are absolutely fine, and if possible you can just take one of them and continue with the meeting. I do All of us are missing this face to face motivation, face to face interaction, tea times. But I think it's equally good to have it with the family, right? If your spouses are working, or even not working, everybody is home, right? So have lunch with them, have tea time with them. And I'm sure as human beings, this is always we wanted, right? We wished we get enough family time, and now when we are getting it, please make use of it. Okay, so there is one article by Jaspreet Bindra. I'll send across or ping here. It says this article is about future of work. Okay, let me just. Okay, I'll not. It's like hanging here. Okay, so I'll send the link. But that's a very good article which says about what will be the future of work, and how Corona has brought us very close to the future. This fast forwarded the world. Now when we are working remotely, it's very important we develop sensitivity. Okay, sensitivity towards our spouse, because the spouses will be working, and this is important for all the genders. Sensitivity towards our kids, because we're encroaching upon their area, towards our parents, because you're home but you're not home, right? So some of the parents, it's very difficult to digest that you're home but you're not available. And that's something you need to explain them, right? And once what happened, it was very funny. My father was there, I was on phone, he needed my phone, and I was on my headset. He just didn't realize that I'm listening, I'm not. He unplugs my earphone, and it was not muted, and he just takes it away because he had to make a call. And I was like shouting, I'm on call, I'm on call. Then sensitivity towards our team members. So for some of us, it might happen that my logistic is fine, but there might be challenge because I just came to know about somebody in the office where there was one table in his home, one desk, office desk at his home, and he used to come because his wife was working remotely, so he had to come to office. So there could be certain situations where we need to be sensitive about our team members, understand their personal situation, and what is going on in their family, and we should also sensitize our team members about our personal situation, about our family situation, so that they can everybody is ready to accommodate everything. Now from logistics perspective, it is very important that when you're working remotely, all your logistics are absolutely bang on, right? Like all the means of communication that you have, like Outlook, Slack, Skype, Zoom, everything, make sure if possible it's on your office laptop or desktop, as well as on your phone if possible. So for me, I've kind of have everything on phone and desktop, because twice it has happened that my electricity just went off suddenly, and then at least I have phone where I could Wi-Fi is gone, and I have phone where I could just log on and continue the conversation. Then have phone numbers of your important team members. Talk to your managers, talk to your stakeholders about, again, sensitizing them about your personal comfort and challenges, about your availability, about your situation at home. And find out a frequency, right? Find out a frequency that I'll not always say that increase, but find out a frequency to connect at different levels. Yeah, in this scenario, right? Like we had scrum meetings and connects when we were working in office, but do you need to add on anything? Do you need to change the mode of connects now? Think about it, and over communicate on the risk. Now small things you need to over communicate formally, because when you're office, suppose a manager is sitting or team member is sitting, we say that okay, looks like this is not available, we just make a comment loudly and people know about it. But this will not happen now. So a lot of conversation which was happening unconsciously and people were knowing about it has to now happen consciously, and this is a change that comes by practice over a period of time. Example, right? I have a manager ABC, and usually he'll just sit at my
Last
back, and
30
I'll
seconds,
turn
Sheetal.
around. Okay, so yes, over communicate, then prioritize and plan. Now the prioritization and planning just doesn't include 9 to 5, but it includes everything. It includes your kids waking up time, lunch time, their lunch time, all your critical calls. And certain things which has worked for me is, you have on your door red, green, yellow, or red, that no entry for your kids. Yellow, yes you can, but don't try to. And green is like you're working on something self, and you can walk off, you will not disturb me. And have rules, but be flexible. Be flexible, when to be flexible, adjust. So the new thing is work life balance was there, but it is now work life adjustment. So have rules, but be flexible to those rules, and ask family members also to be flexible. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thanks, Sheetal.
Great. Question, comment. We still
Thank
have.
you, Sheetal. And I love that red, yellow, green. I have started doing that. So my 12-year-old is
Okay.
helping me that. And yes, you rightly said,
Uh-huh.
be flexible. So when both of them are like fighting,
Hmm.
so my 4-year-old, he just
Hmm.
forgot that it's red. I need not to go there, and he just banged the door
Hmm.
and came in, and But yes, that's
Parents,
Oh
working.
wow, I love
parents
this. Hello.
parents are worse than the 4-year-old.
Hello. Yeah.
This is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello.
Neha, I think you had a question in the last session.
No, nothing
Okay.
from my side.
Okay. Anyone else would like to add anything? Karan, Himanshu, Sunil.
I think it's good what Sheetal said. Like, even we spoke to our colleagues in the morning, and some of the saying that kids are an issue, and what are the working rules at home also. I think that is something which everybody has to create right now. And I see that some people do not come on video, either they're not taking bath or either they are like around and everything. People, sometimes you have to do the ceremonies and people say, can we not be on video? But yeah, but I think it's.
Yeah, and actually, my son, right, he's in 10th grade, and his online classes have started. So he's not used to all this. So he was thinking it's vacation, but suddenly the classes have started. It starts from 9 o'clock, and he barely wakes up and just manages to go. And I like, turn on your video. No, I can't turn on my video. He just wakes up and sits for the classes. And like, no, you got to take your bath and then. And now from tomorrow, they have mandated that everybody has to be on video. So you'll have to wake up
Yeah.
like 20 minutes earlier, take bath, and sit.
Yes,
Anything from you, Himanshu? Like, go ahead.
Yes, the idea of defining the yellow, green, and red time, it's really a good new thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
To bar the disturbance. Yeah.
One thing we're talking about doing where we work is having a different color-coded day depending on what it is your commitments are. So you maybe say I've got an orange day, and an orange day might mean that you'll log in at 6 in the morning, do some work before the kids get up, and then take a few hours in the afternoon out to do schooling. Or you might have a blue day, and the blue day might mean I'll work, although I'm in the UK, I might work India time because my team's in India. So this makes more sense for me to work longer. So we're just trying to work out whether you are. I think the important thing is we're doing that by team. Yeah. So that's a team level working agreement. So it's not like someone's going to mandate for everyone that we all work a pattern. Each of the teams work out what's the most appropriate for their context. And I think that's going to work really well.
Yeah, I would say setting up some operating principles now for the new ways of working. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, lovely session. Lovely session. That was really
good. Okay, I think let's move on. So let's move on to our last speaker. How to pronounce your name?
Lilia.
It's Lilia.
Lilia.
Okay.
Yes, that would be me. And hi to everyone.
Go ahead.
Hi to everyone from the Netherlands. So, and it's great how we're now like connecting the world, really from a different time zone and different parts of the world. And I really enjoy all the stories that you shared and all the tips. I think like you covered so many things. And I would like also like to share my piece of the story, which is like my personal transition from working in the office to home, because I think this is also the transition many people are maybe facing, but this is the story maybe like we are ashamed also to tell. And I work with teams as agile coach, as scrum master. I'm also like personal coach, leadership coach, and I'm doing also leadership program myself, like as a participant in 10 months leadership program. So it is a lot of like work and learning at the same time. And but my transition into like working from home was really harsh, which means the first week, if that would be a book, the chapter of that week will be Big Bang and two worlds collide. And by two worlds, I mean like the work where I played these roles and where I was not holding the role of mom, of wife, of housekeeper, because I was outsourcing certain things, like my son, who is 2.5 years old, toddler, he goes to daycare, right? So like I choose a decision like to pay for his babysitter rather than do it on my own, because like I was thinking like I cannot do it together, right? Then in the office, I really like value human communication. Like I really love it, like to see people face to face. And I also like value space where I can be just like on my own, where I can create something on my own, whether that's workshop or, and I had the luxury of time, the flexibility to arrange sometimes moment for myself. And then like suddenly like week one, day one, and the world, just like those two worlds became one. And I found myself like being running around almost like literally and in my mind and rushing like from one activity to another and thinking like, oh, I cannot catch up with everything. Or the feeling was I need to catch up with everything. And then that was exhausting, overwhelming. And there was definitely, I wanted to be seen as professional. I wanted to be seen as professional. I wanted to be seen as I do my work, I take it seriously, I have it all together. But the fact was that absolutely no. It was like the mess was in my mind, and it started with the mess, and that was like the biggest like cleanup I needed to do. but I simply I haven't had time for that because I was running from one meeting to another, and here like my son is approaching me, and here I'm making lunch for my family, and then something else. So it was like lot of chaos here. And imagine what kind of like impact that have on others, because like we are sensitive enough like to sense it from others, even on the distance. And then I collapsed in a minute. That one evening, I just like I almost like felt I locked myself in the room and just like crying, because I was thinking like I cannot do it all. How on earth like will I do it for weeks? Because I'm not doing it well. So the perfectionism in me was saying like, you need to be like this, you need to perform like that. But the reality was like I was not matching. I was really not matching. And then like my son started like knocking at the door, mama, and that's where the moment I started to realize, what is it that I'm doing? What is it that what am I running away from? And what am I afraid of? And I was kind of like running away from my family, from my son, because I wanted to have a like just space where I can work and like silent and my own, that I have like a desk and this, but it was like not possible. And what was I afraid of? Like to be seen as not professional, to be seen that I don't have it all together. And then like that all like triggered a reflection, like a little retrospective in my mind. What is it that important for me in general? You know, like reminding and maybe like thinking like a big question. What is it that important for me like globally? Because at the end of the day, we think about personal life, professional life, but it's all one life. And now it's even like more than ever, it's just like all blended together. So what is it important for me in life? And I have a clear answer for that. This is like my family, absolutely, my health, because it is a foundation of our well-being, like mental health and physical health. And also nowadays it's our also responsibility as a citizen to take care of ourselves. That's why our like, government send us home to take care about ourselves, because like no one can do that better than us. And kind of like that defined a prioritization criteria. So first of all, like family first, like health first, and taking care. Because what I also started thinking, like if someone, like any of you even, or any people are close to me will approach me and explain that story, I would say like, I would be compassionate to that person. I would say like, I know it's difficult. You know, I will make a cup of tea for the person. I will also like give a hug to the person. But when it came to me, to myself, no, like no way. I was like, this is like the criteria you need to match, like do it more. It's almost like I was a warrior, and I came back from the battle, and I was like, I had some wounds, but instead of like healing the wounds and helping myself, I was like punishing myself even more, like another knife, or you know, that felt like that. And then so the biggest like lesson I learned was it is about like self-care and self-compassion first, especially like this period, like any period, but this period, because if we cannot be kind and compassionate to ourselves, we cannot do it to others too, because we don't know them. We really don't know, like facing, like looking inside to see also outside. But and after that, asking what is it that important for me, and also what is it that I need? Because this period also learned me, like boosted absolutely my collaboration with my husband, because I need to be clear what is it that I need. I need like you to take care of our son in this period of time. It teach me in the morning to make a schedule, because he needs to work and I need to work, and we have a son who needs to be taken care of. So it's really like help us to communicate more clearly and make a schedule and have an agreement, and not going around, because like a lot of time in communication we go around and not articulate what is it that we need. And this time, like you know, cut the crap. Tell me what you need, in a way. So harsh, but that's the truth. So boosted communication skill, and also it is a, you know, I was also learning it in my leadership program, and when I'm coaching some leaders, I'm telling it, asking for help is a leadership skill. And in the meaning that we think like, no, we all can ask for help, but if it comes to ourselves, and it's also with the, what is it that I need? What kind of help I need? And sometimes we just need a space. And for me, that all boiled down into quieting the noises over here, by prioritizing, by reminding myself what is important for me. And after that, I'm still like doing my work as much as I can. I'm still like there for other people. I still participate in the meeting, but I'm not burning my energy for all this stuff. I'm not like running around. I'm taking like easier. And for me also, the space is important, having the space and time for myself. And I found a solution. Kind of, I'm waking up earlier, and maybe I wish I sleep somewhat longer, but I just like start my day with 10 minutes meditation, then a bit of yoga, and then I have also a beautiful like journal I can recommend it. My day in three minutes, which is like, which every day asks me, what are the three things you are grateful for? And then what are the 3 things you are looking for today? And then, so it's kind of in three minutes, it helps me to tap into something more resourceful for me versus like being reactive into something, what Scott mentioned, like, what are you grateful for? And every day there is something, like, absolutely. I'm doing it already for almost 100, every day there is something. And it makes me really like appreciate. So this morning, I call it like investing, because we're living in the world of really like quick solution. We like it quickly. We can Google, we can access everything quickly, but actually now there's no quick solution. We need to invest in our foundation, and the foundation is our health, our like physical health, our mental health. And it's also, no one can give us the answer. People can give their stories, their tips, but then it requires us like to sit on our own and to think, what is the customized solution I need? Because like whatever tips you're giving, like great tips, but unless I kind of filter them through my own self, they are not working for me. So we all need to create our customized solution. And I encourage you to do so, because these days, like, it's becoming even more overwhelming. Everybody is like teaching online and everything is starting becoming online. But actually what we need is just like ask yourself, what is it that I truly need? Or what is it that being like sold to me because the description is nice, or this is nice, or this is attractive. And there is no consultant who can, no coach who can help you, but you can help yourself, but just like clarifying it and being like, just like nice to yourself, because that helps your teams be nice to them.
So Lilia, 30 seconds more, otherwise some of us may cry on the Zoom.
This is the leadership I think our teams need this day, and be the role model as start with yourself and be nice.
That's cool. Thanks, Lilia.
Good. So we can have maybe a minute or two if anyone would like to add, comment anything, or maybe some question. Well, we are actually time up. Anyone? Or somebody who has not asked a question so far.
That's good.
Listen, Sanjay, making a rule at home, I don't know how good or bad it is, but my wife saying that you are out if you make any rule here, because my space and not yours.
We are all facing that stage. I mean, I had a bad experience. Like she already, after the breakfast had a small fight, and then I'm actually telling her now. Also, I told her that I'm going for a call. 11:30, it's done. I'm coming inside. So.
I think like my suggestion, don't use the word rule, but just like try to articulate what is it that you are trying to achieve. Like, honey, I really need space and time to do this work. Can you support me in that, or help me in that? When you say like the rule is don't enter the room, it almost automatically triggers us like the resistance. I want to open the door and see what you are doing.
Yeah, she is already sick of seeing me home for last 2 weeks. She wants me to get out of here.
So
she doesn't want.
Again, I would say it depends on the person if they are taking the rule or not. So one day I asked everyone to do their dishes, so they had to do it. But then the next day they just vanish. My kid, my husband, and I had to do everything.
Take your shoe off to them, Auntie.
Ish, are you there? You didn't ask anything, buddy.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Definitely, I am here.
Go ahead.
Actually, Sanjay, the case with me is a little different. Like, I have nobody to, I will say, like, interfere in my hair with me or my brother hair, like, So there is such no yellow, red, or green card here. So I am at my home, like in office, like, for me, there is no as such difference in the office or in my home. So actually, to feel myself in home, I sometimes do self-destruction in the meeting. Like, in the meeting, I sometimes do the plank or the push-ups during the meeting so that I can feel I'm at home. So, so the case with me is a little different, like,
Okay, I think that's it. So
Yeah.
we are already 3 minutes over our scheduled time. Again, thanks a lot to everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us. And we will be scheduling maybe in a follow-up session next week. And the format of that session will be a bit different. And we still have to work on that format. And anyone has any suggestion, most welcome, or any feedback on the current thing.
Yeah. Friday night that late? No.
But a very friendly session, I
Hardcore.
think, Sanjay.
Yeah, it's
I think
nice.
everybody can see each other. I think I joined few sessions, but it was all online, so you cannot see anything. This one was more interactive. Like Scott is
Yeah.
laughing. We can see his hat over there, his daughter, even Siddesh got his kid. So I think it's very interesting to see.
And all the speakers are really, really good.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Good to meet you
Thank
all.
you everyone to being
Thank you
here and
all.
organizing.
Thank
you.
you.
I'll definitely be.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sanjay.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
working
Bye.
Take care. Be safe. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.